Alright, guys, we're hitting a freaking heavy chest day. It's a good push day for sure. So, we're at a different gym than usual because realistically, I don't have these hammer strength equipment. So, if I'm gonna use like that's the whole point. I don't know what it is, but when I go to a new gym, I just go crazy on the new equipment, especially like if I haven't been able to use it for a while. So we started off with four plates. Four plates was moving quite well, if I'm being 100% honest. It wasn't feeling good. Like it was feeling really good. And that's the big thing about it. I'm like, I was surprised because like four plates usually was a lot heavier. So we moved up to four plates in a 25, and that was moving even faster if I'm being 100% honest. Good, slow, and controlled. We're just getting strong on this. Like this is like, I normally have never like, like it's kind of crazy. I came back to this and I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, I am a lot stronger than I used to be on this movement because I haven't been able to do it. Like four plates was kind of the max of what I was doing before. But now it's kind of crazy that I'm like at this point where, it's they're moving a little too quick if I'm being 100% honest. So we actually went up to five plates. And I can't believe that it actually moved as well as it did. If I'm being 100% honest. It was moving. It was definitely moving for sure. So yeah, we did a few reps with five plates, and then of course I did drop set down. So that's the only thing I find is when you do such a heavy weight and you go for a drop set, it's like holy shit. So here's the drop set. I literally just cut out the in between. So it's like I got a few more reps in just because my chest was so beat, if I'm being 100%. So I'm doing an incline JM press. So what you see is seeing me bend at the elbows here. So I'm putting more emphasis on the long head. So it's like a JM press is great for like the medial and lateral head. But if you want to get a little bit more long head, start doing them on an incline. Put a lot more stress onto the long head of the tricep, which will feel so much better. Especially it's like, don't get me wrong, jam press is an amazing exercise, but like do it on an incline, you will. The only thing I find on an incline is like when you go for a lockout. Oh my lord, it's definitely tough. It is definitely tough because it hits you. Like when you're doing an exercise and then it hits you at that point where it's like you can't even grind through it. This is once you start doing it on an incline, the lockouts become very, very hard, and that's the big thing about it. So we got like 185 on the bar, nothing too crazy, nothing too insane. Just trying to get as many reps as possible. So we went up to two plates here. We're just trying to get the biggest arms humanly possible. Because like, who doesn't want bigger arms? That's the real question. Like, I don't think anyone deep down, everyone deep down is like, I want bigger arms. I want freaking bigger arms. Let's be real. We all want those like hugging the sleeve arms. That's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So it's like, no one's gonna be like, hey, I want smaller arms or I don't want my arms to grow. Like, let's be honest. Big arms just make life better. If you've got problems in your life, have bigger arms. If you're having a bad day, get bigger arms. If you're, struggling at work, get bigger arms. If your wife left, yeah, get bigger arms. It solves pretty much any problem. Not like I'm being realistic, but let's be honest, big arms are the vibe, definitely the vibe for sure. So we're doing. So if you notice, I always train kind of a higher rep range with these because I don't find that like trying to overload them. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to overload them, but it's such a movement that you can mess up on your joints. So I did move up to 275 for a few. Just wanted to see how much I could do on this. Just was curious. So yeah, I think we did for like three, maybe four. I think it was only three if I'm being honest. And then we did drop set down. Yeah, it was only three. So then we did quickly drop set down because I needed to make sure that we're getting as much volume in as humanly possible because let's be honest, volume is what really truly grows us if we're being real on that. So we did go back down. We're trying to like get these big massive arms, so we gotta get some more reps in because I feel like that's the big thing about it is just like the amount of volume you get in a week actually grows you more than people imagine, and like that's the big thing about it. Like for me, I train high volume and I've always found I got better results versus when I did lower volume. So that's just for personally for me, I found I responded better to it. If I'm being 100% honest with you guys, that was something that I'm like, holy shit, I am actually making more progress. See, that's what I'm talking about. That lockout there is hard.
Alright guys, that was kind of today's workout. So, didn't get to film everything just because, you know, based off of people and stuff like that, you don't want to be inconsiderate when you're filming. That's the big thing about it. So, I also don't film every set because that would be just one long-ass video, and I don't feel like you guys would appreciate it. I feel like you guys would be like, why in the world are you filming this whole entire thing? You're like, no. So, I'm not going to bore you guys half to death. Just showing you guys what I kind of did for today. So, this is not the normal gym I train at. That's the big thing about it. So today, my big thing is when I go to a new gym, I always like use a piece of equipment I don't have, because that's the whole point. I don't know if it's weird, but like that's for me is like, that's my fun thing is going to a different gym. Just because I like, you know, keeping things fresh. I like hitting, you know, different exercises. So we did an incline hammer strength press as our main, you know, pressing movement today, which honestly felt really good. It felt really, really good. Honestly, it's kind of crazy how much stronger I am since I used one. I haven't used one since like September, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm definitely being able to push some heavy weights on there. So definitely surprised on how it was moving. Not like surprised, but I was like, holy shit, I am definitely getting stronger for sure. But yeah, honestly, my big thing about it is like, I feel like we try and like, you know, we all do the same routine, but sometimes you have to shock the body. Our body gets used to it. And like, even for me, like I change out my workouts. And like, that's the big thing is like, a lot of people are like, oh, I need to be like, you know, doing the same thing every single day. No, shock your body. Do what you need to do to actually shock it. Because like a lot of times people are like, oh, I'm so used to this routine. Your body gets used to it. You need to keep shocking the body. I'm not saying you have to change up your exercises, but for me, I change them up about every 3 or 4 months. I keep in the staples. I keep in the same, like, let's just say, oh, I need to have something to emphasize the long head of my tricep. But I will focus a little bit more on something else. Like, let's just say, oh, you know, I'll do a lot more jam presses that month, right? Which is like, oh, I'm going to do a lot more jam presses. Oh, I'm going to do a lot more overhead tricep extensions. It's just finding a movement, because eventually your body does. And I'm not saying you can't like do everything, but I'm saying if I found for myself, if I fixated on a movement, it worked so much better. If I'm being 100% honest, it did. So I don't actually train like, you know, a crazy amount of exercises. Like even today, I did like hammer strength. I did a shit ton of sets. I think I did about 12 sets of hammer strength incline press. So I did that, and then I did JM presses, and then I did overhead tricep extensions, and then I did some lateral raises. I didn't do a crazy amount, but the amount of sets I did was. So I always found for me, high sets for me, I found focusing on an exercise for me worked a lot better versus like, oh, I'm gonna do like 2 sets of this, 2 sets of this, 2 sets of this. I always found better results by just actually fixating on a movement. So let's just say, oh, you know, like today, right? I was doing incline hammer strength press. That for me was my big bread and butter of what I'm going to do for my chest day. Yeah, I probably could have done the fly. I could have. You know, the cables were busy, that look, and like I didn't really want to, I just didn't want to wait for it. And like honestly for me, I sometimes find pec decks on my shoulders don't always like them. I don't know what it is, they just don't. There are certain ones that do feel good, but like the like straight arm pec decks, I just have always found I've always felt a little iffy, and I've just never been a big fan of them. I try them, I do them, and they work. I've never been the greatest fan, but then there's like that really rare day that I'm like, holy shit, this feels good. That's the big thing about exercises. There's days that there's certain movements that always feel good. There's movements that feel good every so often. And then there's movements that never feel good. But then there's like movements that I originally did not like. So for me, I hated overhead tricep extensions. I only felt it in the elbow only. I thought it was the worst movement humanly possible. I genuinely did. I was like, this does not work. This does not do anything. I'm like, I'm just going to stick down with tricep pushdowns. But it's weird, you know, about 5-6 years into training, I fell in love with them. And not wrong, in those like, you know, five years or so that I've been training, I tried them. I would bring them here and there. And then just one magical day, my body clicked and was like, yeah, we like this. So it's weird. Like even like, you know, there's movements that I used to like a lot more. Like for me, I used to love lat pull downs a lot more. I'm not as big as a fan as I used to be. I just find like there are better movements that feel better for me. And like that's the big thing about it. So it's like kind of like as you grow, you find, you hold on to certain movements. Don't remember, there's movements I've always kept foundational. And then there's movements I haven't. So like even in general, right? So I'm trying to grow my bench back up, right? And, I took actually 2 years off of benching. Not saying off of pressing. I took 2 years off of like free weight barbell pressing. So no incline bench, no flat barbell bench. But I did incline Smith, and I fixated on incline Smith to the point that that's the only like pressing exercise I almost did. And then I did like, low to high cable flies, and then like, machine presses and stuff like that. I didn't, for whole pretty much 2 years, I did not actually hit my stabilizers. So when I went back, my triceps were so much stronger, my chest was stronger, but I could not stabilize if my life depended on it, which was absolutely horrendous. If I'm being 100% honest, I'm trying to hit these weights, and I'm like literally shaking. I'm like, this is not good. This is not good in any way, shape, or form. I'm like, so yeah. So the last 2 months, I've been actually bringing bench press back in. It's a great foundational building. I think people are like, oh, flat bench isn't the greatest for building your chest. Yes, do I believe there's better movements hypertrophy-wise? Yes. But do I think it's a great mass builder? Yes. But like that's the big thing about it. I also just want to get strong again. So I've been benching, twice a week. And I've been doing that for 2 months. And it's kind of crazy how much stronger I'm getting every session. So it's like when I started, I could barely do 405 for one. Now I'm repping it for about 8 reps right now, which is like weird because I was struggling to get one when I got back. But then let's just say we go on an incline Smith. I was able to do like incline Smith, like 405 for like about 6 to like 10 reps of. So it's like I was like so confused because I had the strength, but I could not push it because realistically my body was like, we can't stabilize, we can't produce the force. So it's like, that's the big thing about it. So it's been nice to actually, and like, it's been nice to be able to actually get my strength back on bench because I was not like, it was weird because it's like, I could say like, oh, I hit it in the past and have video footage, but then I was like, I can't hit these numbers right now. So the goal right now, we're trying to reach right now, is we want that big 500-pound bench. We want it, and I feel like I can achieve it in like, the next little bit. I feel like if I really explode and I just need the explosivity. So even the other day, so like I'm talking about doing different movements, I did yoke presses. I've been doing yoke presses. It's my second time doing yoke presses. I did them at the very end of my workout. So it's where it's just a 1 rep explosive. And I probably did about like 20 reps of it. Where it's like I would like, do a rep, very heavy weight, explode, and then chill for about 2-3 minutes and then do another one. So it was honestly, it's a good way of like getting that explosivity because it's like a dead stop. Because I'm like, I have to like literally press it. I also have to stabilize so much because I don't know if you guys ever like pressed off a yoke. It's a whole lot of different. It's kind of crazy. Even like second time doing yoke, I was able to add another 20 pounds to my yoke. It's kind of crazy how much you just do a movement, the better you get at it. And that's the big thing about it. So it's like I find every time I do it. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. That's like kind of where I'm at with like my gym journey right now. But hopefully you guys were enjoying this video and like that. If you guys are watching to the end, I appreciate you guys more than anything. If you guys want, like if you could hit the subscribe button and try and watch this video as far as you can, it would definitely mean the world to me. It really would. It really, really would, because that's also what pushes the video into the algorithm, which is, YouTube is, I haven't really grown on YouTube, right? This is just me trying to start my journey on YouTube because YouTube is definitely, it takes a lot more energy. I also think I just need another phone because the amount of phone storage that this takes is absurd. So it's like, if you guys do enjoy these, I would appreciate the support, and that would definitely mean the world to me. But yeah, if you guys also have a question, would you guys prefer like me talking over, because this is going to be a voiceover my workout, or would you guys prefer like music or just raw? What would you prefer? That's the real question. So I'll kind of leave that guys to you guys on what you guys want to, either me talk a voiceover my workout, number 2, music over my workout, or just the raw grunting, and you know what I mean? Like, depends on what everyone likes a certain thing. So or I could do a little bit of both. It's just like sometimes like, you know, at that gym it was super busy. I couldn't just sit down and like record and like I feel like such a dick. I'm at that point where I'm not comfortable enough to just like, yeah, like I've done it, but it's like, oh my lord, you feel like an asshole if I'm being 100% honest. You really, really do. It's not a fun feeling if I'm being 100% honest, because people are like, oh, this guy's full of himself. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how I see it. It's like this guy's a dick. So I don't want to come off as that either. But hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Yeah, definitely just want to say thank you guys for watching. You guys have an amazing night.